who is still in Hong Kong. And this new census data, it's a pretty stark picture of Hong Kong, isn't it?
Absolutely. Hong Kong is reporting a record drop in population, according to this new census data just out. Over the past 12 months or so, some 113,000 residents have left the city. That represents a population decline of about 1.6%. This is the second year in a row that the population has declined. And if you bring up the chart, you'll look at just how historic it is. This is the biggest population drop on record since at least 1961. Earlier, I talked to a migration expert at the University of Hong Kong. She called the exodus, quote, historic. Listen to this.
The census gives us an early indication of this, that we are witnessing a historic departure, the result of the social unrest and the social movement here in Hong Kong, and then followed by COVID, as it, spread across the globe. And of course, we still sit here in the present moment, the only part of the world, China and Hong Kong, as a part of China, that is still living under, the kinds of restrictions for entry, which of course is going to bar people from coming back.
Experts say it's Hong Kong's changing political landscape, as well as its very tough anti-pandemic measures, have prompted many people here to leave the territory. In fact, just over 7 million people here in Hong Kong have had to endure some of the world's toughest zero COVID anti-pandemic measures, which has effectively isolated this once thriving international business, aviation, and logistics hub. It was just a few months ago. We were at the Hong Kong International Airport, and we witnessed scenes of Hong Kongers leaving in quite large numbers. I want you to listen to just a couple of them, what they said about why they were leaving.
I think Hong Kong used to be one of the best places to be in every single aspect in general. And now it's losing a lot of the edge of its advantage, and seems like there's no way going back.
If we don't leave, nothing will change. You cannot change the government.
Now, Hong Kong, the government here has announced new changes to its pandemic policy. In fact, it was this week it cut its mandatory hotel quarantine stay from 7 days for incoming travelers to 3 days. And that's why I'm here at home. I managed to get out of mandatory hotel quarantine early because of these new relaxed restrictions, but I have to stay at home for a few days under what's being called as home medical surveillance. And officials here, they really hope that these changes will entice people to travel again, for business to come back and flow back into the territory. But it really remains to be seen whether the city's vital force can return. Back to you, Michael.
Yeah, speaking of which, there's new data on Hong Kong's economic growth as well. What is that telling us?
Yeah, so what we've seen is Hong Kong has slipped into what's called a technical recession. 2 quarters in a row, it experienced and posted its economy contracting. It's due to a number of factors: weakening global demand, as well as inflation. It also doesn't help that the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to the US dollar, but many point out that the fate of Hong Kong could change if Hong Kong reopens, not just to the rest of the world, but even to its neighbor up north and the big boss, mainland China. Back to you.
All right, Kristie Stout in Hong Kong. Yeah, last time I saw you on social media, you were in the hotel. Nice to see you at home. I'm glad you got out. That was going to be a long week for you. Thanks, Kristie.
Thank you.
All right, now.